So I guess maybe I'll talk a little bit about how that works if you want.
So when you say match with people, is that the algorithm that matches you, or do you have some control over that?
No, so that's not what I was referring to. So I think you've got a pretty good understanding about how eHarmony or these profile ones works. It gives you a list of people. You can click into them. You can see information about them. That's not at all how these swipey ones work. What happens is they present you with a person, like their profile. And from that point, you either go, yes, I would like to interact with this person, or no, I wouldn't like to interact with this person. In order for you to even talk to someone, both of you have to have said, yes, I want to interact with this person. So it'll give me a whole bunch of people. You go left or right, depending on which one's like, dislike. And then, so, okay, say you say, okay, I want to interact with this person. They look interesting. I want to talk to them. And until they have been presented with your profile and they have said the same thing, you don't interact with them. You don't know anything else beyond that. Like once you've swiped left or right, all that information is gone. It's totally out of your hands. If they don't, you may never see that again.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and maybe this is something I overlooked with the first one. So with the profiling one, you get to see each other's information. And then how does the acceptance process works in that? So you send a request and they have to accept, and and that's how you. But that acceptance process is after you get the information.
Yeah, you're still presented with the information in the swipe ones. The profiling one, you can go back to it. It's like, have you ever used Facebook or a social media thing, or have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like if you were to type in someone's name, but you don't type in their name, they're just presented in a list here. And then you select them, then you see their profile. You can choose to send them a message or not. They can do the same with you. There's like no limitations there. The way, like if you were to just keep on spamming them, they can block you so they don't get the information. But it's open. So anytime you want to communicate with someone, it's like, okay, I'll send them a message. So there is no limitation whereby they have to accept you or anything. You can send them a message and then they can choose to respond to you, or they can choose to just leave you, or they can choose to block you. It's up to them. So that's like completely open.
Okay, so I think I now know the difference. I'm going to relay it back a little bit. So in one situation, the profiling one, it's like I can send an email at any point in time. I can block emails, obviously. I can block spam, but basically I can send that, and you can determine when to respond or not to respond. With the swiping one, it's like accepting a friend request, I guess. It's kind of like when you first swipe to them, you can't really send them anything. It's just saying, this person's requesting to be able to communicate with you. Do you accept or decline? And then if they decline, then it goes nowhere. But if they accept, you now have a form of communication that you can do between each other.
You're correct about how it works, but it doesn't, depending on which app it is, it won't necessarily tell the other person that you have said, I want to communicate with you. It may not even show you to the other person. And this is where like the monetary side of things comes in, where it's like you can swipe, it's usually right to accept, right? So you swipe right to go, okay, I want to communicate with this person. That gets logged in the database in the background, but you may never actually get presented to the other person. Once the other person sees you, it doesn't say that you want to talk to them or anything. They have to just by themselves looking at it go, hey, I want to connect with this person as well.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So, okay, so I'm trying to imagine it from a technology point of view, but I'm also seeing the human interaction.